1 year had passed since the day Yuna woke up with Varth cubs on her desk. Everything was different now. Yuna stood on the observation deck of a Varth ship, watching the stars drift by. The ship was massive, the size of a small moon. It carried thousands of Varth families. And now it also carried humans. She was not alone anymore. Hundreds of human volunteers had joined the program. They came from every country on Earth. They were teachers and doctors and farmers and artists. They were ordinary people who had chosen to do something extraordinary. They lived among the Voreth now. They ate with them, slept near them, played with their cubs. They learned the Varth language, their customs, their history. And the Varth learned about humans too. It was not easy. The first months had been hard. The Varth were not used to having outsiders so close. They were suspicious and sometimes aggressive. Some human volunteers got scared and left. Some got hurt, but most of them stayed. They were patient and kind. They showed the Varth that they could be trusted. Slowly, very slowly, the bonds formed. Yuna had become a leader among the volunteers. She trained new arrivals. She helped them understand the Varth. She taught them how to read the subtle signs of emotion in those golden eyes. The 3 cubs who had started everything were now almost adults. They had grown tall and strong, but they still followed Yuna everywhere. She was their second mother. She always would be. The Voreth mother, whose name Yuna had learned was Nara, stayed close too. She and Yuna had developed their own way of communicating. Part words, part sounds, part touch. It was not perfect, but it was enough. Today was a special day. The Galactic Council had called another meeting. This time, they were going to celebrate what humanity had achieved. Yuna put on her formal clothes and prepared to leave. The cubs tried to follow her, but she gently pushed them back. "Stay here," she said. "I will be back soon." They made sad sounds, but obeyed. Even now, after all this time, they still did not like being separated from her. The council meeting was held on a neutral station at the center of the galaxy. Representatives from every species were there. But this time, there were new faces among them. Varth delegates sat in the hall. It was the first time in history that the Varth had attended a council meeting peacefully. They did not come to fight or threaten. They came to talk. They came to participate, and they brought humans with them. Yuna took her seat next to the Varth delegation. Elder Minho stood at the front of the hall, ready to speak. 1 year ago, we were at war, he began. The Varth threatened our borders. Their ships destroyed our outposts. We lived in fear of their rage. He paused. Today, we have peace. The hall was quiet. Everyone felt the weight of his words. This peace did not come from weapons or armies, Elder Minho continued. It did not come from treaties signed by politicians. It came from something simpler. It came from compassion. He looked at Yuna. One young human woman showed kindness to creatures everyone else feared. She did not run. She did not fight. She simply cared. Yuna felt her face grow warm. She did not like being the center of attention. And now, Elder Minho said, humanity has shown us all what that compassion can do. They have healed wounds that were millions of years old. They have turned enemies into family. He spread his arms wide. The Council officially recognizes humanity as the peacekeepers of the galactic community. They will serve as bridges between species. They will help us understand each other. They will remind us that even the most dangerous beings in the universe can be reached with love. The hall erupted in applause. Thousands of beings from hundreds of species clapped and cheered and made sounds of approval. Yuna stood up slowly. She had not prepared a speech. She did not know what to say, but then she looked at the Varth delegates. She saw their golden eyes watching her with trust and affection. She saw how far they had come from the monsters everyone once feared. She found her words. "I am not special," she said. Her voice was quiet, but the hall speakers carried it everywhere. "I am just a person." I was scared when those cubs appeared on my desk. I did not know what to do. She paused, but I knew that they were babies. I knew they were lost and alone, and I knew that I could not hurt them, no matter how dangerous everyone said they were. She looked around the hall at all the different faces watching her. Humans are not stronger than other species. We are not smarter or faster or more powerful. Our technology is simple compared to yours. Our history is short. Her voice grew stronger. But we know how to care. We know how to love things that are different from us. We know how to see past fear and find the person underneath. She put her hand on the arm of the nearest Varth delegate. It was a small gesture, but it meant everything. The Varth are not monsters. They are people. They feel pain and loneliness and fear, just like everyone else. They just needed someone to understand that. She smiled. Humans understand. It is what we do. It is what we have always done. We take care of each other. We take care of animals. We even take care of creatures from other planets that could kill us with one swipe of their claws. The Vorath delegate made a sound that Yuna had learned was laughter. So yes, Yuna said, "We will be your peacekeepers. We will be your bridges. Not because we are powerful, but because we are kind." She sat down. The hall was silent for a moment. Then the Vorath delegate stood up. She was tall and fierce, with scars from ancient battles. Her name was Sora, and she was the leader of the Vorath delegation. She spoke in the Vorath language. A translator converted her words for everyone to hear. For millions of years, we were alone. We thought the universe was full of enemies. We fought because we were afraid. We killed because we did not know any other way. Her golden eyes found Yuna. Then we found the humans. They were small and weak and should have been prey. But they were not afraid of us. They looked at our children and saw beauty. They looked at our rage and saw pain. She placed her massive paw on Yuna's shoulder. They looked at monsters and saw family. Tears rolled down Yuna's cheeks. The Vorath will never forget what humanity has done. For us, Sora continued, we will protect them as we protect our own young. We will fight for them as we fight for ourselves. They are a pack now. Our family. The applause that followed was the loudest the council had ever heard. After the meeting, Yuna returned to the Vara ship. Her cubs were waiting for her at the entrance. They jumped around her excitedly, asking about the meeting in their chirping voices. She knelt down and hugged all three of them. It went well, she said. Everything went well. The cubs purred with happiness. Nara appeared behind them. The Vorath mother looked at Yuna with those ancient golden eyes. She made a soft sound, and Yuna understood its meaning without translation. Thank you. Yuna smiled and reached up to touch Nara's fur. No, she said. Thank you. For trusting me. For trusting us. They stood there together, human and Vorath, united by something stronger than biology or politics. Outside the ship, the stars stretched into infinity. Somewhere out there, more Vorath were waiting. More species needed help. More bridges needed to be built. But Yuna was not worried that humanity was ready. They had always been ready. They just had not known it until now. And as the ship flew through the endless darkness of space, Yuna felt something she had not felt in a long time. Hope that the galaxy had called humans weak and fragile and unimportant. Now, they knew the truth. Humans were not predators or prey. They were something far more powerful. They were nurturers. The galaxy would never be the same. The news spread across the galaxy like fire. Every planet heard about the human girl who bonded with the Vorath. Every species learned that humans could do what no one else could. Within days, Everything changed. Yuna became famous. Her face was on every news channel. Her name was spoken in languages she could not understand. People called her the Bridge, the Peacemaker, the Mother of Peace. She did not feel like any of those things. She was just Yuna. She was tired and confused and a little scared of all the attention. But the galaxy did not care how she felt. The galaxy had plans for her. For all humans. 1 week after the Varth mother arrived, the Galactic Council called a special meeting. Every major species sent representatives. Thousands of diplomats gathered in the Great Hall on the central station. Billions more watched through screens across known space. Yuna was asked to attend. She did not want to go, but Ambassador Hana insisted. "You must be there," the ambassador said. "You are the proof that this is real. Without you, some will not believe." So Yuna went. She wore simple clothes, not the fancy robes the council offered her. She brought one of the cubs with her. It sat on her shoulder like a pet, making happy sounds as they walked through the crowded halls. People stared at her. Some with hope, some with fear, some with wonder. Yuna tried not to look at any of them. The Great Hall was enormous. It could hold 10,000 beings of all sizes and shapes. Today it was completely full. The noise was incredible, countless voices speaking at once in dozens of languages. When Yuna entered, the hall went silent. She walked down the center aisle toward the main platform. The cub on her shoulder looked around with curious eyes. It was not afraid. It knew Yuna would protect it. On the platform, the 12 leaders of the Galactic Council sat in tall chairs. They represented the oldest and most powerful species in the galaxy. They had ruled for thousands of years. They had seen empires rise and fall, but none of them had ever seen anything like Yuna. The head of the council was a being called Elder Minho. He was very old, with gray skin and eyes that had seen countless stars burn and die. His voice was deep and slow when he spoke. "Yuna of Earth," he said, "you have done something that should be impossible. You have made peace with the Varth. The council thanks you." Yuna bowed her head. "I did not do much. I just cared for them." "You did more than you know," Elder Minho replied. "For millions of years, the Varth have been our greatest fear. They have destroyed worlds. They have ended civilizations. No weapon could stop them. No treaty could calm them." He leaned forward in his chair. "Until now." The council members murmured among themselves. They were still amazed by what had happened. Some of them still did not fully believe it. Elder Minho continued. "The Varth Mother has returned to her people. She has told them about humans. She has told them that your species is family." Yuna's eyes went wide. She did not know this. "The Varth have responded," Elder Minho said. "They have sent a message to the council. They have made a request." The hall was completely silent. Everyone was listening. "They want humans to live among them. They want your species to join their packs, their families, their worlds. They say that with humans beside them, they can finally know peace." Yuna felt dizzy. This was too big. This was too much. "But that is not all," Elder Minho continued. "We have learned that the Varth have been suffering. Their rage, their violence, it comes from pain. They have been alone for millions of years. They have had no one who could understand them, no one who could comfort them. So they attacked everything, because everything was either prey or enemy." He looked directly at Yuna. "Humans are different. Humans are the first species that can reach them, the first that can heal them. If humans agree to help, the Varth could become allies instead of enemies. Millions of lives could be saved." Ambassador Hana stepped forward. She spoke clearly so everyone could hear. "The council has discussed this situation for many days. We have reached a decision. We wish to make a proposition to Earth and all humans." She turned to face Yuna, but her words were for the entire galaxy. "We ask humanity to serve as peacekeepers between the Varth and the rest of the galaxy. We ask humans to bond with Varth families, to live among them, to help them heal. In return, the Council will give Earth full membership in the galactic community. We will share our technology, our knowledge, our protection." The hall erupted in noise. Some cheered. Some shouted in protest. Some argued with each other in loud voices. Yuna stood in the middle of it all, holding the cub close to her chest. The little creature pressed against her, seeking comfort from the noise. She thought about what the Council was asking. They wanted humans to give up their normal lives. They wanted people to leave their homes and travel to dangerous places. They wanted mothers and fathers to raise alien predators alongside their own children. It was a huge sacrifice. But Yuna also thought about what would happen if humans said no. The Vorith would remain alone. Their pain would continue. Their rage would burn across the stars. More planets would die. More species would suffer, and humans could stop it. Only humans died. She looked up at Elder Minho. "This is not my choice to make," she said. "I am only one person. Earth has billions of people. They should decide for themselves." Elder Minho nodded. "You are wise. The Council will wait for Earth's answer." The message was sent to Earth that day. Every human heard the proposition. Every family discussed what it would mean. The debates lasted for weeks. Some people were afraid. They did not want to live with monsters. They did not trust the Vorith. They said humans should stay on Earth and forget about the galaxy. Others were excited. They saw this as humanity's chance to be important. They wanted to help. They wanted to make a difference. Yuna watched the debates on her screen. She listened to people argue back and forth. She heard their hopes and their fears. The cubs played at her feet. They did not know that their futures depended on these discussions. They only knew that Yuna was there and that she loved them. After 3 weeks, Earth made its choice. The vote was close, but the answer was yes. Humanity would accept the proposition. Humans would become the peacekeepers of the galaxy. They would bond with the Vorith and help them heal. When the announcement came, the cubs seemed to sense the change. They jumped around happily, making loud sounds. Even the Vorith mother, who had stayed nearby in her ship, made a roar that echoed across space. It was not a roar of anger. It was a roar of joy. Yuna cried when she heard the news. She was proud of her species. She was proud to be human. But she also knew that the hard work was just beginning. The galaxy was watching. The Vorith were waiting. And humanity had a lot to prove. She picked up one of the cubs and held it close. "We can do this," she whispered. "Together." The cub purred in agreement. A new chapter in galactic history was about to begin. The Vorith mothership was bigger than anything Yuna had ever seen. It was dark and shaped like a blade, cutting through space like a predator moving through water. Its surface was covered with weapons that could destroy planets. Every ship around the Academy station moved away. They did not want to be near when the mother came aboard. Yuna stood in the meeting room. The cubs were at her feet, playing with each other. They did not seem worried. They did not understand that their mother was about to arrive. Ambassador Hana stood behind Yuna, keeping her distance. Dr. Jisoo was there too, with recording equipment. Taiho waited by the door with his guards. Though everyone knew their weapons would be useless, the room was quiet, except for the cubs. Playful sounds. Then the wall opened. The Vorith mother stepped through. She was 3 meters tall, with dark purple fur and silver stripes like her children. Her eyes were golden and filled with rage. Her claws were extended, each one as long as Yuna's arm. Her teeth were visible, sharp enough to bite through steel. She saw the strange creatures in the room. She saw the aliens who had taken her children. She roared. The sound was terrible. It shook the walls. It made Yuna's bones vibrate. Ambassador Hannah fell to her knees. Dr. Jisoo dropped his equipment. Even Taihao stepped back in fear. But Yuna did not move. The cubs heard their mother's roar. They looked up. They saw her. And they ran toward her, making happy sounds. The mother stopped. Her rage disappeared, replaced by confusion. Her children were not scared. They were not hurt. They were happy. The cubs reached their mother and jumped around her legs. They climbed on her body. They pressed their heads against her fur, purring loudly. The mother looked down at them. She checked them with her nose, smelling every part of their bodies. She was looking for injuries. She was looking for signs of abuse. She found nothing. Her children were healthy. They were safe. They were loved. She looked up at Yuna. Yuna met her golden eyes. She was terrified. Her heart was beating so fast she thought it might stop. But she did not look away. She did not run. The mother took a step toward her. Then another. Each step made the floor shake. Each step brought those terrible claws closer. Yuna stayed still. The cubs noticed what was happening. They ran back to Yuna and stood between her and their mother. They made small protective sounds, like they were trying to tell the mother something important. The mother stopped. She watched her children defend this strange creature. She saw how they trusted the human. She saw how they loved her. For a long moment, nobody moved. Then the mother did something that shocked everyone in the room. She lowered her head to Yuna's level. She extended her nose toward the human girl. She sniffed. Dr. Jisoo whispered from behind his equipment. She's checking the scent bond. She wants to understand why the cubs trust her. The mother sniffed Yuna's hair, her skin, her clothes. She took her time. She was learning everything about this human. Finally, she pulled back. Her golden eyes were different now. The rage was gone. In its place was something like curiosity, something like wonder. She made a sound. It was not a roar. It was softer, deeper, almost like a question. Dr. Jisoo gasped. That's a family call. She's asking if Yuna is part of her pack. Yuna did not know how to answer. She did not speak Vorath, but the cubs seemed to understand. They jumped around excitedly, making their own sounds. They were telling their mother yes. Yes, this human is family. Yes, she is safe. Yes, she is one of us. The mother listened to her children. She considered their words. Then she reached out with one massive paw and touched Yuna's shoulder. Her claws were retracted now. The touch was gentle, almost careful. It was acceptance. Ambassador Hana made a sound like crying. Dr. Jisoo was shaking with excitement. Taihao stood frozen, unable to believe what he was seeing. The most dangerous predator in the galaxy had just accepted a human as family. Over the next few hours, the scientists studied everything. They took samples from Yuna. They analyzed her blood, her skin, her sweat. They scanned her brain waves and measured her heart rate. They tested everything they could think of, and they made an incredible discovery. Dr. Jisoo explained it to the council in a special meeting. Everyone important was watching through screens across the galaxy. Humans produce a unique combination of chemicals, he said. These chemicals are released through their skin and breath. Most species cannot detect them, but the Vorath can. He showed images on a screen. These human chemicals exactly match the signals the Vorath mothers use to identify their young. The scent, the emotional signature, everything. When a Vorath smells a human, they do not smell prey. They do not smell a threat. They smell family. The room was silent. This is not something humans created, Dr. Jisoo continued. It is natural. It has always been part of human biology. Humans simply never knew about it because they never met the Vorath before. Ambassador Hana spoke up. Are you saying that all humans have this ability? Not just this one girl? Yes, Dr. Jisoo confirmed. Every human in the galaxy can bond with the Vorath. It is written in their genetic code. The implications were enormous. For centuries, the Vorath had been monsters. They had killed without mercy. No one could negotiate with them. No one could reason with them. They were a force of pure destruction. But now there was hope. Humans could communicate with them. Humans could calm them. Humans could make them feel safe and loved. Humanity, the newest species in galactic society, had just become the most important. Yuna sat with the mother Vorath and the cubs. The mother was resting now, her massive body curled around her children. One of the cubs had climbed onto Yuna's lap and was sleeping peacefully. Yuna stroked its soft fur. She still could not believe this was real. She was a normal girl from Earth. She had come to the academy to study alien languages and cultures. She had wanted a quiet life, maybe a job as a translator. Now she was at the center of the biggest discovery in galactic history. The mother Vorath made a soft sound. Yuna looked up and found those golden eyes watching her. There was no anger in them anymore. There was something else. Trust, maybe. Gratitude. Perhaps even love. Yuna smiled at her. The mother made another sound. Dr. Jisoo, watching from a safe distance, translated. She says thank you, he whispered. She says you kept her children safe when you did not have to. She says you are brave. Yuna felt tears in her eyes. She reached out and touched the mother's fur. It was warm and soft. Tell her she has beautiful children, Yuna said. Tell her I'm happy I can help. The doctor translated. The mother made a sound that might have been a laugh. For the first time in millions of years, a Vorath was laughing with an alien. Everything was changing, and this was only the beginning. The academy changed in 1 hour. Yuna watched from her window as hundreds of ships arrived. Military vessels took positions around the station. Science ships docked at every port. Diplomatic cruisers from dozens of species filled the empty spaces between them. All because of her. All because of 3 sleeping cubs. They had moved her to a new room. It was bigger and nicer than her old dormitory. It had soft chairs and a large bed. It had screens on every wall showing news from across the galaxy. Every screen was talking about her. Breaking news from Galactic Academy Station, said one reporter. A human female has somehow bonded with Vorath cubs. Experts say this should be impossible. The Vorath have been contacted, said another. A mother ship is on its way. The galaxy holds its breath. Yuna turned off the screens. She could not watch anymore. It was too strange to see her own face on the news. She was not ready for this. The cubs were still with her. The academy had tried to take them away, but the cubs had refused to go. They screamed and cried whenever someone tried to separate them from Yuna, so the guards gave up. The cubs stayed. Now they were playing on the floor, chasing each other around the furniture. They knocked over a lamp. They tore a pillow with their claws. They acted like normal babies, not like dangerous predators. Yuna smiled a little. They were actually kind of cute when they were not scary. A knock came at the door. Taiho entered, followed by 2 people Yuna did not know. One was a tall woman with blue skin and 4 arms. The other was a short creature covered in brown fur with large eyes. The cubs saw the strangers and immediately ran to Yuna. They hid behind her legs, making small worried sounds. Yuna bent down and picked up one of them. It pressed against her chest and closed its eyes. The blue woman stared. Her mouth hung open. The furry creature made a sound like a gasp. Taiho cleared his throat. Yuna, this is Ambassador Hana from the Galactic Council, he said, pointing to the blue woman. And this is Dr. Jisoo from the Xenobiology Institute. Yuna nodded politely. She was still holding the cub. The other 2 were wrapped around her ankles. Ambassador Hana spoke first. Her voice was soft and careful, like she was talking to something that might explode. Miss Yuna, do you understand what is happening here? Not really, Yuna admitted. Everyone keeps saying I'm important, but I don't know why. Dr. Jisoo stepped forward. He was excited. His big eyes were even bigger than normal. May I explain? He asked. This is my field of study. I have spent 200 years researching the Vorath. Yuna nodded. The doctor began talking fast. The Vorath are the oldest predator species in the galaxy. They have existed for millions of years. In all that time, they have never accepted any other species. They see everything as either prey or threat. There is no middle ground. He pointed at the cubs. Vorath cubs are especially dangerous because they are connected to their mothers through a mental bond. If a cub feels fear or pain, the mother knows immediately. She will come to protect them, no matter the distance. No force in the galaxy can stop a Vorath mother. Yuna felt cold. So their mother knows where they are. Yes, Dr. Jisoo said. She is coming now. Her ship will arrive in 12 hours. Yuna's legs felt weak. She sat down on the bed. The cubs climbed up next to her. But here is the amazing part, the doctor continued. The cubs are not afraid. They are not calling for help. They are happy. They feel safe. With you. He walked closer, looking at Yuna like she was a puzzle. The Vorath recognize their family through a combination of smell, sound, and something we call emotional resonance. Somehow, you match all three requirements. To these cubs, you smell like their mother. You sound like their mother. You feel like their mother. But I'm human, Yuna said. I'm not even the same species. Exactly. Dr. Jisoo was almost jumping with excitement. This should be impossible. Humans have only been in the galaxy for 200 years. The Vorath have never seen your species before. Yet somehow, you are compatible with them. Ambassador Hana spoke again. Her voice was more serious now. Miss Yuna, when the Vorath mother arrives, she will expect to find enemies. She will expect to fight. She will be ready to destroy this entire station to save her children. Yuna's heart was beating fast. But the ambassador continued. If she sees that her cubs are safe and happy, if she sees that they have accepted you as family, things might be different. Different how? Yuna asked. The Vorath have never made peace with any species, Ambassador Hana said. They have never formed alliances. They have never shown mercy. But if they accept humans as family, she did not finish the sentence. She did not need to. Yuna understood. If this worked, humans would be the first species in history to connect with the Vorath. They could end centuries of war and death. They could change the entire galaxy. But if it failed, Yuna would die. The station would be destroyed. And humans would become the enemy of the most dangerous predators in existence. She looked down at the cubs. One of them was chewing on her sleeve. Another was falling asleep on her lap. The third was trying to catch its own tail. They trusted her completely. They had no idea what was coming. Yuna made a decision. I'll do it, she said. I'll meet the mother. Ambassador Hana looked surprised. Are you sure? The risk is very high. Yuna nodded. She was scared. She was more scared than she had ever been in her life. But she could not let the cubs down. They had chosen her. They believed in her. She would not run away. Taiho stepped forward. His face was serious, but Yuna thought she saw respect in his eyes. We have 12 hours, he said. We need to prepare. The mother must see that we mean no harm. Everything must be perfect. The preparations began. Workers removed all weapons from the station. Scientists set up special rooms where Yuna could meet the mother safely. Diplomats wrote speeches and protocols for first contact. And Yuna sat with the cubs, playing with them, feeding them, learning their sounds and movements. 12 hours passed too quickly when the Vorath ship appeared on the screens, blocking out the stars with its massive size. Una felt her stomach drop. The mother had arrived, and she was angry. Una opened her eyes slowly. The morning light came through the small window of her dormitory room. She stretched her arms and yawned. It was just another day at the Galactic Academy. Or so, she thought. She turned her head toward her desk and froze. 3 small creatures were sleeping on top of her papers. They were about the size of cats, but they looked nothing like cats. Their fur was dark purple with silver stripes. Their ears were long and pointed. Their paws had claws that could cut through metal. Even in sleep, they looked dangerous. Una stopped breathing. She knew what these creatures were. Every student at the academy knew. They were Vorath cubs. The Vorath were the most feared predators in the entire galaxy. Adult Vorath stood 3 meters tall. They had killed entire armies. They had destroyed space stations. No weapon could stop them easily. But the most dangerous thing about the Vorath was not the adults. It was the cubs. Vorath mothers protected their young with terrible violence. If any creature came near a Vorath cub, the mother would hunt them across the stars. She would never stop. She would never forgive. Entire planets had been attacked because someone touched a Vorath cub. And now 3 of them were sleeping on Una's desk. She wanted to scream. She wanted to run. But she was too scared to move. If she woke them up, they might cry. If they cried, their mother would come. And then Una would die. The academy would die. Maybe the whole planet would die. So she stayed very, very still. The cubs made soft sounds in their sleep. They were purring. Their small bodies rose and fell with each breath. One of them rolled over and showed its belly. It looked almost cute. No, Una told herself. Not cute. Dangerous. Very dangerous. She needed help. Her communicator was on the table next to the cubs. She could not reach it without getting close to them. Her door was 3 meters away. If she moved slowly, maybe she could reach it. She put 1 foot on the floor. The floor made a small sound. One of the cubs opened its eyes. Una's heart stopped. The cub looked at her. Its eyes were bright gold with black centers. It stared at her for a long moment. Then it made a small sound like a chirp. It stood up on its 4 legs and walked across the desk toward her. Una could not move. She could not breathe. The cub jumped from the desk onto her bed. It walked up to her and pressed its head against her hand. It wanted her to pet it. The other 2 cubs woke up. They saw what their sibling was doing. They jumped onto the bed too. Soon all 3 of them were pushing against Una, asking for attention. Una did not understand. This was impossible. Vorath cubs attacked strangers. They bit and scratched and screamed until their mother came. They did not ask for pets. They did not purr at humans. But these cubs were purring. They were rubbing against her like she was their family. Very slowly, Una lifted her hand. She touched the head of the nearest cub. Its fur was soft and warm. The cub made a happy sound and closed its eyes. What was happening? The door to her room burst open. 5 guards ran in with weapons raised. Behind them came a tall man in a gray uniform. Una recognized him. His name was Taiho, and he was the academy's security chief. The guards pointed their weapons at the cubs. The cubs saw the strangers and immediately changed. Their fur stood up. Their claws came out. They made a terrible hissing sound that filled the room with fear. One guard fired his weapon. Una did not think. She moved without planning. She threw her body over the cubs, protecting them with her arms. The weapon's beam hit the wall behind her. It left a black mark on the metal. Everyone in the room went silent. The cubs were under Una's body. They had stopped hissing. They were quiet now, pressing against her chest. They felt safe with her. Tae-ho held up his hand. The guards lowered their weapons. He walked forward slowly. His face showed confusion and something else. Fear, maybe. Or wonder. He looked at Yuna and the cubs. He looked at how they trusted her. He looked at how she protected them without thinking. He spoke into his communicator. His voice was quiet but serious. "This is Security Chief Tae-ho. We have a situation in Dormitory Building 7, Room 412. Contact the Council immediately. Contact the Xenobiology Department. Contact everyone." He paused. Then he said something that made Yuna's blood turn cold. "We have a priority civilian event. A human female has bonded with Varth cubs. This is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill." Yuna looked up at him. Her voice was small and scared. "What does that mean? Priority civilian?" Tae-ho looked at her. His eyes were strange. He seemed almost afraid of her now. "It means," he said slowly, "that you are now the most important person on this station. Maybe in this sector. Maybe in the galaxy." Yuna shook her head. She was just a student. She was nobody special. She came from a small town in Korea on Earth. She had never done anything important in her life. "That's crazy," she said. "I'm just me. I'm just Yuna." Tae-ho pointed at the cubs in her arms. They were sleeping again. They looked peaceful and happy. "Those creatures have killed thousands," he said. "Their species has destroyed worlds. No one can touch them. No one can get near them without dying." He leaned closer. "But they love you. They chose you. Do you understand what that means?" Yuna looked down at the cubs. One of them opened its eye, looked at her, and made a small, happy sound. Then it went back to sleep. She did not understand. Not yet. But she was beginning to feel that her life would never be the same again. Outside her window, more ships were arriving. The sky was filling with lights. The whole galaxy was coming to see her. And somewhere in the dark space beyond the station, a Varth mother was searching for her children. She was coming too.